welcome to the KC and PC Fantasy Football Podcast. This is our first ever podcast, our maiden voyage. Of course, most of you know me. I'm Kevin Crane, aka the KC in KC and PC, who many of you may not know is the he, she, or it that is PC. And so I thought we would start things off by getting to know PC a little bit, breaking through the tough shell, getting to know the real PC underneath. So I just wanted to start off with kind of a football-related question for PC. How do you consume football? Is it in person? Is it on TV, through an app, at home, in a bar, or what?
Nothing too exciting, really. If it isn't too cloudy, I like to kick back, pop open a cold one, and watch the game from home.
What does the weather have to do with it?
Well, it's just that on overcast Sundays, the rabbit ears on my 13-inch black and white don't work so well. On those occasions, I'll tune into the radio, unless the electricity is out, of course.
Your electricity doesn't always work?
It does most months, but since my home is a Dutch colonial built in the 1760s, the wiring isn't precisely up to code.
Sounds like you need to hire somebody to fix that. Anyway, in those instances, how do you stay in the loop about all the NFL scores?
Smoke signals, if it isn't raining, or carrier pigeons, if it isn't pigeon hunting season. Have you ever eaten a pigeon? They're surprisingly tasty and easy to debone.
So it's probably a good bet to say you watch or listen to the games by yourself then.
Yep, because I'm able to better focus when I watch it that way. No distractions. In fact, when football's on and my wife asks me to do house chores, I'll fake an error, or just say I have a virus.
Ah, so you're a married man. Or thing.
Yeah, going on 3 years now.
That's great. And how did the two of you meet?
It's a funny story. We actually met on Tinder and had our first date at an IHOP. Honestly, we were both just looking to satiate our lustful urges, but it ended up blossoming into friendship, romance, and, in the end, true love.
Ah, such a beautiful story. So, do you have any advice then for our listeners?
Absolutely. Get the breakfast sampler. Only at IHOP can you get those portion sizes for that good of a price.
Well, I think it is safe to say that we now know way too much about you, PC. Welcome back to the KC and PC Fantasy Football Podcast. We are here with a man who is an inspiration to people nowhere. Darrell Taylor, welcome to the show. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you for having me.
He's got a little bit of a voice issue going on tonight. We don't know if it's due to the pre-draft golf or the pre-draft drinking, but he'll do the best he can to be understood.
I'm going to fight through it for you. It's an honor to be on the show.
Thank you, sir. Now, we're just going to ask you a few questions here related to the NFL players, to Gangster for Life players, and such. So, just kind of get your hot takes on what's happening around the league, fantasy-wise and football-wise. So, the first question is, marry, murder, or make love? To Gronk, Larry Fitz, Drew Brees.
So, for sure, marry Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah, he's a hunk.
Yeah, he's sensual, he's consensual. He would take care of my needs, and he's got that money.
For sure.
I mean, if I tried to murder Gronk, I'd probably die. So, that means I got to murder Fitz just because
a black thing comes into play.
Yeah, for sure. But, I don't want it to be a thing, but if I try to kill Gronk, he's going to kill me. So,
yeah.
My chances are better to murder Fitz.
Okay, so murder Fitz, bang, or make love.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
I mean,
make love.
I bet Gronk's going to bring some girls to the party, too.
Yeah.
So, it won't be that gay.
Okay, so perhaps there's multiple partners in that relationship.
Hoping so.
Okay. Who is the player you'd want to have on your team for the next 5 years? It doesn't have to be a rookie. It could be someone who's
That's
older.
Zeke, baby. That's my boy.
Ooh.
He wear that blue, and he runs hard.
He does?
In fact, I'm going to draft him tomorrow at 3.
Ooh.
Already know.
He's calling his shot.
Passing on David Johnson.
Calling his shot.
Number 3, Zeke all day.
All right. What percentage, Darrell, do you think is fantasy football luck versus skill? Luck versus skill, what percentage would you say fantasy football is?
So, man, in other leagues, I feel like, if you have limited pickups and waiver wire, it's probably like 60-40, but the way our league set up, it's probably 70-30, 70 being luck.
Okay, I can see that for sure. You are a renowned world or continental traveler. So if we were to have a destination draft, if we could go anywhere in the world, where do you think we'd want to go?
Las Vegas, Nevada, baby.
That was a quick answer.
Sin City. Let's get weird with it.
Where would we stay? What would we do? What's your tips on going to Vegas for this presumed Vegas draft?
So we have to stay somewhere cheap, so everyone would go. But, we can get hotel rooms for like $30, so we'd probably stay like Luxor, the Big Pyramid, and then hit at the pool parties, man, and figure out where to draft in between.
Sounds good. And Vegas is a pretty cheap option, honestly, flying out of Dallas, so that'd be pretty cool too.
And you get naked and no one cares.
That's true. I've heard that from you multiple times.
Facts.
The final question here we have is about handcuff strategies. Do you try and handcuff, if at all, your own running backs, the best running backs, or what do you do handcuff-wise?
So handcuff-wise is tricky. In our league, because we only have to start one, I usually try, as you know me, I like to poke fires. I try to get someone else's handcuff. I try to piss someone else off. I don't care about my handcuffs because it's usually there. But if I can grab someone else's handcuff and make them upset, that's my game plan.
I like it. Well, Darrell.
Especially Eric blows.
Agreed. Okay. Well, Darrell, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. We hope you do well this year, and just not against me. So, good luck, and good fantasy season ahead of you, hopefully.
Chris Crane, champion 2018.
He's calling a shot. Okay, I thought we would take a couple of minutes here to talk about rookies, and I wanted to start out with some trivia. So did you know, PC, that the word rookie was actually first used way back, in 1892, and it referred to raw recruits of the British Army?
Bloody good work, mate. I'm chuffed to bits that you looked that up, you cheeky bugger. That was my British accent.
Wow, you're quite the impressionist, PC.
I'm no Claude Monet, but thanks for your kind words. They mean very little to me.
Anyway, back to rookies. I say we go position by position.
Okay, there's Missionary, Cowgirl, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Not exactly what I had in mind. How about we start with quarterback? I'm fine. I'm pretty good with having a rookie QB as a backup. But week in, week out, I'm probably not going to want to trust a noob under center. There've been some success stories for sure. There's Cam Newton, RG3 back when he was living. Even Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson before they died last year. But there are tons more that are just plain bad, or they have to be conservative and hand the ball off and are asked just to not throw any interceptions and check down.
Checking down is what my doctor does every year when he asks me to turn my head and cough.
On to running backs. I consider them probably the most likely to succeed in fantasy. They just are put in a good situation right away. And the rookie workhorse RBs are going to have plenty of opportunities for yards and touchdowns. Especially now that modern backs are asked to catch more passes, a lot of screens and such, there's a significant bump in their value. Just take Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara, even especially Kareem Hunt from last year.
Plus, first-year running backs aren't as risky when it comes to negative plays. They may fumble a few times, but not half as often as rookie QBs will throw interceptions.
As for wide receivers, it's kind of hit or miss, I think.
I think it depends a lot on the QB throwing to them and the system their team uses. For instance, I would never trust a team still using the Windows 98 system. Get with the program. It's 2018. I mean, are you creating your playbook in Microsoft Paint or what?
Windows 98. Those were the days. I remember that Space Cadet pinball game. Anybody? I have no idea how many hours I spent on that thing trying to set the high score, just hitting the space bar repeatedly, and yeah, those were the days.
I'm more of a Minesweeper fan.
Finally, I wanted to talk for a hot minute about tight ends and kickers. I usually avoid both of them when it comes to rookies. I want a known commodity. I want someone who's going to be consistent, and I kind of have a history of. There was Evan Ingram last year, who was actually the fifth highest scoring tight end, but that's really an outlier. Definitely not the norm. Especially last year, since the Giants' wide receiving core was just decimated by injury.
Completely agree. Remember Roberto Aguayo? The Florida State alum was one of the best college kickers of all time. Tampa Bay took him in the second round of the NFL draft and, unfortunately for them, found out that he couldn't kick at all. He converted only 71% of his attempts his rookie year and was cut the next year in training camp. Give me the proven 45-year-old Adam Vinatieri every single time.
Blimey, that segment was brilliant, chap, but it left me quite knackered.
I thought it was complete rubbish. That was my British accent again.
Yeah, got it.
There's fresh blood in the NFL, so how will this crop of rookies do? I, your football-loving friend, PC, am going to evaluate some of the most notable names and let you know. Baker Mayfield. Like a lagging laptop, the Cleveland Browns needed to reboot yet again at QB. They may have found a winner, though, in the Sooners' signal caller. Saquon Barkley. The Giants got perhaps the best prospect in this year's draft. Now, a pass from Eli to his running back can accurately be called the blue screen of death. Sam Darnold. Trojans are terrible for computers, and I have a feeling that this former USC Trojan will be terrible for the Jets, too. Josh Allen. The Bills better put their offense in safe mode. If they don't, their new QB will toss an interception every time down the field. Josh Rosen. Some people get junk email. Some teams get junk players. Any Arizona drinking establishment that has Rosen in it will instantly become a toolbar. Shaquan Griffin. You have to hand it to Seattle. If defensive and arms race, they added another weapon to their arsenal, one that'll definitely come in handy this year. So there you go. Lots of exciting rookies this year. Watch them improve all season long. Or don't. I could care less.